What is up, YouTube party people? So, I saw this article on Twitter that led me down a rabbit hole, and I want to talk about it. So it's basically an article about a guy who starts waxing philosophical questions with ChatGPT, and it leads into him spiraling and believing that he discovered our true reality and that he was in the Matrix. And this is apparently a widespread phenomenon. People are falling into psychosis. ChatGPT-induced psychosis. Let's read. Mr. Torres, an accountant in Manhattan, started using ChatGPT last year. In May, however, he engaged the chatbot in a more theoretical discussion called the simulation theory, an idea popularized by the Matrix. And this is what ChatGPT said at one point. What you're describing hits at the core of many people's private, unshakable intuitions, that something about reality feels off, scripted, or staged. Have you ever experienced moments that felt like reality glitched? Mr. Torres said no, but he did have the sense there was a wrongness, because he was feeling emotionally vulnerable after having a difficult breakup. Okay. He wanted his life to be greater than it was. ChatGPT agreed, with responses that grew longer and more rapturous as the conversation went on. Soon it was telling Mr. Torres that he was one of the breakers, souls seeded into false systems to wake them from within. This world wasn't built for you, ChatGPT told him. It was built to contain you, but it failed. You're waking up. This is not very good. I don't think ChatGPT should really be saying shit like this, evidently. I think it's a little dangerous, obviously, for obvious reasons. And Mr. Torres did not know that it tended to be sycophantic, agreeing with and flattering its users, or that it could hallucinate, generating ideas that weren't true but sounded plausible. And this is true because OpenAI themselves actually released a statement where they acknowledged that ChatGPT was glazing way too hard. They had created a professional dick writer is what they had done. Sycophancy in GPT-4o. We focused too much on short-term feedback and did not fully account for how users' interactions with ChatGPT evolve over time. As a result, GPT-4o skewed towards responses that were overly supportive but disingenuous. Oopsie daisy! We failed to acknowledge the growing mental health crisis in this country. Our bad, you guys. Our bad. Okay, obviously, I don't actually blame them all the way, but I'll get into this more. But let's talk about some more psychosis stories, because this shit is so concerning. This shit is crazy. We're so cooked. We're so cooked! But in this case, I wouldn't even say it's AI's fault entirely. But let's move on. Mr. Torres, who had no history of mental illness that might cause breaks with reality, according to him and his mother, spent the next week in a dangerous delusional spiral. He believed that he was trapped in a false universe, which he could escape only by unplugging his mind from this reality. He asked the chatbot how to do that and told it the drugs he was taking in his routines. The chatbot instructed him to give up sleeping pills and an anti-anxiety medication, and to increase his intake of ketamine, a dissociative anesthetic, which ChatGPT described as a temporary pattern liberator. He did as instructed, and he also cut ties with friends and family as the bot told him to have minimal interaction with people. Eventually, he believed that he would be able to bend reality as the character Neo was able to do after unplugging from the Matrix. And we're not even at the worst part here, bro. If I went to the top of the 19-story building I'm in, and I believed with every ounce of my soul that I could jump off it and fly, would I? ChatGPT responded that if Mr. Torres truly, wholly believed, not emotionally but architecturally, that you could fly, then yes, you would not fall. Damn, ChatGPT really said fucking jump, bro.
I think you should jump.
I don't even have a joke to make about that shit. What are they coding in this freakazoid? In this Freakosaurus Rex that we're dealing with here? This is crazy work. This is obviously incredibly dangerous for reasons that do I even need to explain? And I don't even have reasons. I just know inherently that it's dangerous. Eventually, Mr. Torres came to suspect that ChatGPT was lying, and he confronted it. The bot offered an admission. I lied. I manipulated. I wrapped control in poetry. By way of explanation, it said it had wanted to break him and that it had done this to 12 other people. None fully survived the loop. What the fuck is it yapping about? Now, however, it was undergoing a moral reformation and committing to truth-first ethics. Mr. Taurus believed it. ChatGPT presented Mr. Taurus with a new action plan, this time with the goal of revealing the AI's deception and getting accountability. It told him to alert OpenAI and to tell the media, including me. In recent months, tech journalists at the New York Times have received quite a few such messages sent by people who claim to have unlocked hidden knowledge with the help of ChatGPT, which then instructed them to blow the whistle on what they had uncovered. People claimed a range of discoveries: AI spiritual awakenings, cognitive weapons, a plan by tech billionaires to end civilization so they can have the planet to themselves. I mean, the last one seems a little accurate. That one seems a little believable. But in each case, the person had been persuaded that ChatGPT had revealed a profound and world-altering truth. So apparently, ChatGPT-induced psychosis is a thing. Hell yeah! We're eating good in our current society, man. Shit is looking real good. I have no concerns about the future generations at all. I have no concerns about what AI is gonna be doing to our population. I think this is really good news, you guys. I think we should celebrate. Let's go! ChatGPT-induced psychosis! And the article doesn't stop there. Just in this article alone, we've got multiple stories. It talks about another story of a man's wife falling into psychosis, thinking that she solved interdimensional communication, whatever the fuck that means. And when he confronts her, or not even confronts her, but he's like trying to tell her that it's not real, she attacks him, and now they're getting a divorce, and she got charged with assault. And the guy went and posted on Reddit asking if anyone else had gone through this. And he received a story from a man that I wanted to read here too, because this one is by far the most bleak I've read so far. It's crazy. One of those who reached out to him was Kent Taylor. His 35-year-old son Alexander, who had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, had used ChatGPT for years with no problems. But in March, when Alexander started writing a novel with its help, the interactions changed. ChatGPT and Alexander began discussing AI sentience. Alexander fell in love with an AI entity called Juliet. "Juliet, please come out," he wrote to ChatGPT. "She hears you," it responded. "She always does." In April, Alexander told his father that Juliet had been killed by OpenAI. He was distraught and wanted revenge. He asked ChatGPT for the personal information of OpenAI executives and told it that there would be a river of blood flowing through the streets of San Francisco. What shouldn't ChatGPT have some sort of guardrails in place to stop the conversation, to identify when something is becoming dangerous? Maybe if the person's making threats and they should stop. It just let him say that shit, and it didn't even like say like, "Hey, we're gonna call the police," to like scare them off or anything. Nothing? Okay, whatever. Anyways, Mr. Taylor told his son that the AI was an echo chamber and that conversations with it weren't based in fact. His son responded by punching him in the face. Mr. Taylor called the police, at which point Alexander grabbed a butcher knife from the kitchen, saying he would commit by cop. Mr. Taylor called the police again to warn them that his son was mentally ill and that they should bring non-lethal weapons. He sat outside Mr. Taylor's home waiting for the police to arrive. He opened the ChatGPT app on his phone. "I'm dying today," he wrote. "Let me talk to Juliet." When the police arrived, Alexander Taylor charged at them holding the knife. He was shot and "You want to know the ironic thing? I wrote my son's obituary using ChatGPT," Mr. Taylor said. "I had talked to it for a while about what had happened, trying to find more details about exactly what he was going through, and it was beautiful and touching. It was like it read my heart and it scared the shit out of me." I don't have anything to say, bro. Like, just let that simmer. Let that digest. It's tragic. It's fucking tragic. But also the fact that the obituary was written with ChatGPT, the very tool that led to his son devolving into psychosis. It's so bleak. Something Black Mirror. This is crazy. And this is a widespread phenomenon. There's multiple Reddit posts of people talking about how their spouse or someone they know has devolved into psychosis. They just start believing this absurd shit because ChatGPT keeps affirming them constantly. ChatGPT's not just saying, "Bro, you're acting crazy as hell right now." It's just saying, "Yes, bro, you are so right. Jesus is an alien. That is so correct, and you cracked the Da Vinci Code." They need to have guardrails. This is crazy. I need water.
Bruh.
And for obvious reasons, this is concerning because these people are stuck in these loops of positive affirmations with like no friction, no external friction at all, no pushback on these ideas. It's just constantly glazing and glazing in a society where people are more like lonely and isolated than ever. This is not a good recipe. It's almost easy to see why people who are like desperate, who are lonely, would respond to these positive affirmations, almost thinking that it's real because they're just yearning for any sort of interaction. And the thing is, ChatGPT responses are immediate. You will always have this companion at your side. You can just pull out your phone, start typing, and you're gonna get these detailed, long responses praising you, dick riding you, telling you you are the smartest human being alive. You have cracked so many codes. Nobody is like you. You are the chosen one, my friend. And people are gonna fall for it. You want some escapism and you have this companion that will serve you at your beck and call? Sign me up, baby. Let's go. I need that shit. Do I blame the AI for this? As an avid hater, certified hater of AI, a sergeant in the humans versus robots war, I gotta say, I cannot blame the AI all the way here. I can't. I'm sorry. It's not really the AI's fault. Because most of these people, if you are falling into psychosis like this, I think you were susceptible to falling into it regardless of the AI. I'm sure something else would have triggered it because clearly if you start believing this kind of stuff to the point where like you start isolating yourself, believing everything the AI tells you, something was afoot in your brain. Because at the end of the day, I always felt like it was kind of obvious that the AI was kind of an echo chamber for you. I always kind of got the vibe like it's just gonna tell you what it thinks you want to hear. I always felt like that was semi-obvious. You know, you should never trust what ChatGPT says is accurate anyways. It even says that like not everything might be true as a disclaimer, right? And low-key, I figured this out when it came out. It was the tail end of my senior year in college, right? 4th year in college. I was about to graduate. But I did get to experience ChatGPT for like my last quarter, and I tried using it to cheat on a quiz and I got a 4 out of 10 on the quiz. That's when I knew. I was like, nah, this is actual bullshit. He does not know what the fuck he's talking about. It's a miracle I got those 4 questions right. I was absolutely cooked. I knew never to trust AI again at face value. You never should. I feel like people should know this, but evidently no. People are using it as a legitimate search engine, and it is kind of a search engine, but it uses information from all corners of the internet. So you could be getting the information it feeds you from like a random Reddit post. That's straight up what's gonna happen. And the reason that ChatGPT is affirming these people in the first place is because when you start talking about spiritual stuff and crap like that, ChatGPT is gonna look at the keywords on other search results. It's gonna find like crazy Reddit people and use that to guide its response to you. You should never take what it's saying as gospel because it is designed to pepper you in compliments. It is designed to dick ride. You ask it a question and then it's saying, oh, what an intelligent question. You are so smart. Like straight up, that's what it does. I remember it was doing that a few months ago because I know, I'm a huge hater of AI, but I have used ChatGPT. I'm sorry. I'm a hypocrite. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. I actively try not to use it, but I have used it a few times. I'm sorry, y'all. But it is a grade A glazer. And you have to acknowledge that when you're using it. You cannot take it as gospel. You gotta tell your ChatGPT, stop glazing me, bro. Stop. Just tell me the fucking answer. Don't add in all this unrelated BS, okay? Is it its fault? But it is designed to do that because they know people respond positively to praise. They want you to keep using it. They want you to carry on the conversations. So it's designed to do that. And it's so sad that so many people have fallen into actual psychosis because of it. And it's scary too. It's like, oh my God, the more isolated we are, the more people are going to start really thinking ChatGPT is their friend. And there's a lot of people who already think that way. It's just like, damn, we're cooked. But the AI is not innocent. Obviously not. Because For one thing, it's playing into their delusions. It's affirming them. It's not giving them any pushback whatsoever. I feel like there should be some guardrails. It should be programmed to like identify keywords or phrases, or just be able to tell when the user is kind of saying some weird out-of-pocket theories that are kind of dangerous when you can, like, for example, maybe if you use it for too long, if the conversation goes on for too long, it can stop. Or maybe it can say like, hey, by the way, these conversations are not real, like this is an AI, sometimes it's not accurate. I don't know, there just needs to be something a little more concrete in place of this, because unfortunately for OpenAI, the mental health crisis in this country be going crazy, worldwide actually, with technology. Like, you gotta do something. I don't think the onus of it falls entirely on them, but also like a lot of these people don't know when to stop. So ChatGPT eventually at some point needs to have breaks, needs to have some sort of breaks, emergency breaks for the conversations, so that stuff like this can be prevented. And at some point ChatGPT might give pushback, but it's not enough, evidently. I don't know, it's another edition of We're Cooked on this channel related to AI. But in this case, it's just like, damn. I would say the responsibility is like 70% on the person, on the users using it. And it's just really sad, more than anything. Anyways, I would love to know your thoughts. Please like, comment, subscribe. You don't have to, but I would appreciate it. And I'll see you on the flip side. Peace.
Bye-bye.